talent and intellect in this room, thinking as a structural engineer, we are just lucky that talent and intellect doesn't weigh anything. Otherwise, this floor would be caving. It's really and I have a real sense of respect and appreciation for you in the way you actually take the time to come out here to learn something new. Because honestly, those that know me know that I go all across the world teaching seminars on earthquake engineering and promoting, more importantly, the role of professionals like yourselves, especially structural engineers, what they do for humanity. And I know that there are so many people that after they leave college, they put their brains into deep freeze and never learn anything at all for the rest of their lives. So for you, I think we need to give every one of you an extremely good hand of applause here. Because it's really people like you is what they say are the ones that put a dent in the universe. And I really have an incredible amount of respect for that. And I plan to be around for another 50 years. And when I see technology like this, I know that things are going to happen which are going to make it possible for me to live another 50 years. And the people that are going to do it are the likes of you. That's why I have to be really good friends with you. People also know, the ones that know me, they also know that I love to party. But and I look at these events as really events to make new friends and to really have a good time, and more importantly, to celebrate everything that we as professionals do. So when we talk about the term celebration, I'm going to strip for action. So I'm going to change my costume here. Thank you, Des. Now, all right, does that work? Okay. Now, let me tell you a little about this jacket. Well, before I do that, don't you worry, other people also think I'm crazy. But I have a big advantage over you because people think I'm crazy. And the nice thing about people thinking that you are crazy is that once they come to that conclusion, they give you a wide latitude of behavior. That's the way Ashraf does stuff, And they let you, and so I keep on having a good time. Now let me tell you about this jacket. I think every keynote speaker needs to have a jacket like this. Actually, I think every structural engineer needs to have a jacket like this. And the person that makes this, I have 5 of them. I have one made every year. The woman that used to make Michael Jackson's jackets and makes them for all the rock stars, she makes them for me. Anyway, I wanted to keep this presentation a little less technical. In fact, nothing technical, really. I thought we could spend the evening, you want to get enough technology all through tomorrow, day after, whatever. When I was young, this is going back, 60 years, growing up as a young boy in Pakistan, I used to dream about coming to America. And I wanted to be a rock star. I would dream about coming to America, putting Elvis Presley out of business, and running away with Mary Tyler Moore. And I had that dream for many, many years. But as I started to grow older, and that dream, it seemed like that may not be coming true, I then took my dad's advice, and I went to engineering school, and I became a structural engineer. And now looking back 50 years, it didn't take me very long to recognize the power of that profession. Not only just the power of being a structural engineer, but just the power of what we as professionals do for humanity. You don't have to look very far. Any metropolitan city you go to, all of these wonderful buildings that create the economy on which we depend are only there because people like you were involved. I even proceed to say that every monument that's a testimony to the grandeur of mankind is standing today because professionals like you did something at some point in life. It is because of you that we even have an economy. It is because of you. You know what they say? There are four things. There are four things that you need to do, and I will touch upon them later. If you do those four things, you will be the most happiest, contented, fulfilled, healthy human being. But one of those, the most important, topmost things that is at the top of the list, psychologists and people that study human behavior and human chemistry will tell you that the most important thing is for what you are created. You are created to make the life of another human being better. That is the one and foremost reason that a human being is created. And you as a profession, you make the lives of humanity better on a daily basis. That is the power of your profession. So looking back, yes, there are certain days I still want to be a rock star and the sparkle is still there, as you can see. But I'm really glad I took the path I did. Structural engineers are in the business of saving lives. A doctor becomes a hero by saving one life. I say structural engineers save lives every time the wind blows. When an earthquake comes in a region where structural engineering technology is not used, hundreds of thousands of people die. We know that. When the technology is used, one person dies. We have the same earthquake come in Seattle. One person dies, that too out of fear. Had a heart attack. Have nothing to do with the physicality of the earthquake. All of the things that you guys do. Look at this stuff we just saw a second ago. Your work is nothing less than magic. I mean, can you imagine if I run out of water for an hour? I know one morning I woke up and there was no water. And I'm like, what the? I mean, we take it for granted. Your stuff is taken for granted. I was in New York City one day, and I just sat there and I wondered, there's this restaurant in the basement. It's a full-blown restaurant, wonderful. Everybody is there, people lined outside the door. And the kitchen is in the back. How does this thing even work? I mean, where does all the wastewater go? How are all these plumbing systems that through this whole metropolis? The complexity of that? How does it even operate? It's mind-blowing. It operates because you have the technology to do that. It's the magic of your education. The thing about technical education is that you are taught how to think logically. starting from a set of conditions A, arriving at a set of conditions B, you will, step by step, figure out how to make that happen. And I keep telling structural engineers, they are not limited to just designing a bunch of beams. Because of their know-how, their intellect, they are capable of doing anything. And the same applies to every one of you. You're already doing it. I mean, when I came to America in 1969, I thought I was the luckiest person in the whole world to end up in Berkeley, at the University of California, Berkeley, where all this incredible technology, you know, the Apollo space program was in full swing. The Cold War was in full swing. The Federal Highway Department was building all these bridges and highways, and all the numerical technology associated with that, all of this stuff, the Defense Department, the space program, was all being done at Berkeley. And I was thrown in the middle of that, working with these incredible brains. And I thought I had the most wonderful opportunity that any person could get. And today, I look at you guys, and part of the reason I want to live another 50 years, because look at the opportunity that is today. I used to think that everything that's ever going to be invented has already been invented. But now you look at the opportunities. Look what's happened. I mean, look at how ridiculous things are. Uber, worth $50 billion, doesn't even own a car. It's a stupid app on your iPhone. Airbnb, look at them. Doesn't own a single hotel room, but is worth more than 20 of the biggest hotel chains to put together, and they're just another stupid app. And then this whole concept of longevity. Why do I want to be your friend? Because you are the people that are going to fix me when I need that body part that's going to be DNA compatible, grown in some lab. You are going to do it for me. I have to be nice to you. And then driverless cars. How great is that? Oh, yeah, we had one accident recently, so be it, you know. I mean, you know, what they say about success is to go from one failure to another without loss of enthusiasm. That's not me, that's Thomas Edison. Nothing about me is original. Everything I have that I'm talking today is stolen. So, but that's what research is. What do you think these professors do? You see, the beauty about it is if you steal from 1,000 people, you're a researcher. If you steal from one, you're a criminal. So I steal from 20,000, so I'm a super researcher, you know? And I'm all full disclaimer, because I'm going to be talking about stuff right now that is not mine. But, you know, I mean, that's how we learn, you know? So, you know, we are wonderful. We all know that. So I want to talk about some of the things that, if we're so wonderful, why am I pissed? Because there are certain things that I really like, but certain things really piss me off. And I want to talk about some of the stuff that pisses me off, because I think maybe in that discussion there is a solution to my pissiness. Maybe not, but let's talk about it. You know, one of the things that really pisses me off is that a beautiful theater is open, all right? You go there, you're inside the theater, they've got the name of the theater, and then they've got the name of Samuel Johnson, mayor, written on the wall. And then is the list of the city council members, right? That's what, you see that every building, every public building. Okay, what have they contributed to the development, design, construction, financing, anything associated with building? What is their contribution? It's zero, all right? I think, years ago, when IBM first started creating PCs, you remember? No, you don't remember. You're too young. Okay, let me give you a little history. So IBM had Intel processors inside their machines. But nobody knew that. So Andy Grove, the chairman of Intel at the time, went to IBM and said, hey, guys, Intel is running this thing. You guys have just got a box. We are the people inside. So I'm not selling you any more microprocessors until you guys put this beautiful logo Intel inside on every computer. And they've fought a little back and forth, but long and short of it is they needed the processor and they caved. And now you can see every machine that comes along, if it has an Intel processor in it, it says Intel inside. I mean, I tell the structural engineers that if you played your cards right, every structure that is built, right under the name of the structure should be this big round logo that says structural engineering inside. I mean, we can compromise, okay, let's call it architectural engineering or engineering architecture. I mean, you guys do some stuff. And you MEP guys can work with the architect to figure what they want. But let's face it, in all honesty, I mean, the shit that you guys dream up. Pardon the word, but we have no HR here. So, I mean, really, the stuff that you guys dream up, it will come crashing down if it weren't for the structural engineers. All of you guys would be in jail. And how much would you pay a structural engineer? How much would you pay anybody that is willing to keep you out of jail if you know for sure you're going to jail? You would give them everything you own. So will you stop giving them that 1/10 of 1%? Seriously, I mean, and that's the other thing that pisses me off. Not that you give the structural engineer 1/10 of 1%. We'll come back to that in a second. What really pisses me off is that you get a lousy 6%. And with all due respect to real estate agents, more power to them. Every time a real estate agent sells a building, they get 6%. They could sell the building 20 times in the year and get 6% every time. You guys design the building, mess around with all your consultants, and you get 6%. And for that, you go to school for 27 years. The real estate agent goes to school for a week. There is something wrong with this picture. All right? Now, I'm not pissing on real estate agents. If they can get away with it, more power to them. It's not their problem that we're poor. We're always complaining. We're always complaining about our fees. And then the doctors. Why are our fees always subject to negotiations? The structural engineers go to the architect. I hear this from the structural engineer all the time. Well, we had this meeting with the architect. They're saying that we'll pay you only 0.5% now. We used to get 1.5%, but we're only paying you 0.5% because this is only a 100-story building, and the 99 floors are identical. So you only got to design one floor. So you have three. You have the bottom, you have the top, and the middle. Does the real estate agent get paid for one floor because the 100 are the same? Seriously, I mean, you're laughing. You know the reason you're laughing? Is because the other option you have is to cry. Serious, I mean, but these are things to think about, and they piss me off. And then you go into a doctor's office. Have you ever negotiated fees at a doctor's office? Hey, today, this year has been a little tight. I went to, the Revit technology conference, so I'm tight. So I will only be able to pay, let's just negotiate. Maybe instead of 100, I'll pay you 50. Yeah, no, it doesn't work. And these doctors, they're so arrogant. It used to be that you went to a doctor's office. It used to be when you went to a doctor's office, they would lay out nice bed sheets on the examination table. And you would lay down there, comfortably. And now what they have the giant ass toilet roll. You sit on a giant ass toilet roll. And they make you take your clothes off. Even if you have a sore throat, they make you put this thing on that has this opening in the back. I mean, this is all psychological. They've studied the human psychology. You ain't gonna negotiate no fees if you ain't got no clothes on. We structural engineers are not taught any of that stuff. We're not. And it's really bad. It's so poor that, we learn nothing. We learn nothing about marketing. We learn nothing about public speaking. We learn nothing about human psychology. In fact, some of us, the beauty that I love about you guys have passion. You guys believe in what you're doing. I can see it just talking to you guys. I mean, everybody is like, wow, wow, wow. You're like, you're high. But you see, most of us technical people don't have that. Nobody has told us how incredible we are. I hear it all the time. When I do my seminars, these are all technical seminars on earthquake engineering, I spend more than half the time talking about this stuff. Telling them, look, you are the most amazing people in the world. So I did this seminar in New York City where some kid flew out. She flew out from Argentina to attend the seminar. And to this day, it makes me cry. It really makes me cry. So she went back and she wrote me this note. She says, I've been working at this company for 4 years. Today is the first day I went to work with a renewed sense of passion and appreciation associated with the work that I do because of you. Now, my question becomes, what have we achieved as educators? If we've taught her structural dynamics, mechanics of materials, theory of structures, all this high-powered technology, but we have failed to instill in her a sense of value and passion associated with what she does. We have completely failed. And belief is such an important thing. First of all, it's important to have belief. You need to have beliefs. What do you really believe in? Is this work something that's worthy of doing because it is completely changing how humanity operates? Yes. Is that your belief? And then you talk about it. You see, the beauty about talking about your beliefs is you attract other people that believe what you believe. And why is that important? Why is it important to surround yourself with people that believe what you believe? Especially when you hire people. Because if you hire somebody that believes what you believe, if you hire them just for the money, they'll do a good job. But if you hire them because they believe, then you don't have to tell them what to do. They will do exactly what you want without you telling them, because that's their belief. And if you go out there and you talk about what you believe in with a certain level of passion, which you guys have got. You convert other people into believing what you believe. You develop a cult. We've been there. This is a cult. Truly a cult. That's what I love you. That's why I love you so much. And when the whole world becomes your cult, you don't have to tell them what to do. They will give you the money. Not because you asked for it, but because they believe you deserve it. But that's why we need public speaking. Engineers don't have that. It's not part of our thing. Lawyers have that. Right? That's why a nation is up. I love no HR. I totally love no HR. And then human psychology. Why don't they teach us human psychology? Why don't they make it I mean, everybody you deal with, the people that are your subordinates, your seniors, your friends, the ones you love and the ones you hate, they're all human beings. Why don't we learn about human psychology so we can better deal with people? What does it take for somebody to like you? No, they don't like you because you've got a beautiful jacket or you have the most incredible hat. No. People like you for only one reason, and that one solitary reason is how they feel about themselves when they are in your presence. If you can make somebody feel like $1 million, they will come back to you time and again and again. Bosses need to know that. Bosses need to know that when an employee performs poorly, you don't piss on them. You empower them. When I go out and do talks all across the world, I take most complex theories and I simplify them into simple terms where anybody can understand them. You empower the people. You can see it in their eyes. Oh my God, why didn't anybody tell me this in this form before? They've got this serotonin rush that is beyond belief, completely empowered. They're so drunk with serotonin that you can at that point sell them horse shit and they will buy it. Salespeople need to know that. When you go out with your girlfriend, you need to know that. It's not about you and your fancy car. She doesn't care. And then why are we so pissed when we run into a jerk? Why? Jerks are wonderful. You know why jerks are wonderful? It's for the same reason that it's wonderful to have stupid people in your class. It makes it easier to get an A. Now, if I was the only great guy in this room, wouldn't you think I would have value? So next time you see a jerk, bless them. I hope you have 100 kids and they're just like you. All right? So this comes from human psychology. And then trust. Why are we always not trusting people? You know, my father used to say, give everybody a chance to screw you once. That way, you will enter new relationships assuming that they are going to screw you and they will have their chance, and you will find that they won't. And you will go through life fearless and find out the whole world is absolutely wonderful because you're experiencing them freely without the fear of them going to screw you, because you're giving everybody their first chance. And you will find out nobody takes that first chance. Trust has become such a rare commodity. There was this one story that, my God, some guy was going around a corner, you know, at really reasonable speed, and another lady was coming the other direction, you know, and she comes across, and you know, they're kind of like, it's on a corner, you know, around the bend. So she screams at him, looks at him, and rolls down the window and says, "Pig!" So he's like, what the hell? Why did she call me a pig? You know? And he's all bent and out of shape and completely mad, and you're going to use the B word and all that kind of stuff, you know. So he turns a corner, and there's a dead pig on the street. And he crashes into it, you know. But you see, that's our first reaction. When somebody says something, it's the first is negative, you know. There's no trust. You can't even give anybody something without them thinking, what's the catch? And then the importance of arts. Arts, when we're going through college, especially engineering school, you basically learn the same thing from the same professor. If you went to Catholic school, you even wore the same clothes like I did. So when you leave college, what makes you different? See, the thing that is that when you're studying all this technical stuff, your logical brain, which is the left side of your brain, is being completely trained and you're learning stuff. Your right brain is your artistic side, your creative side. So when you leave college, you've got this complete technical knowledge, your logical brain is completely trained, but your artistic side, which is the side which allows you to give your own color to everything that you do. It is the thing that makes you different. And if you haven't learned anything artistically, it doesn't mean that you have to play a musical instrument. Art is everything. Art is the way you wear your hair, the way you do your makeup, or the way you wear no hair. You know, everything that you do that is your personal style, that's art. That is what makes you different from the crowd. Even when you went to the same school, wore the same clothes. When you leave, your artistic side is where you're putting your own color to everything that you learned. It makes you different. When you're different, you're interesting. When you're interesting, people like you. When people like you, they do as they're told. When they do as they're told, you get what you want. So, I mean, it's not rocket science, but I mean, that aspect is so missing from a lot of our structural engineers, for sure, you know. And then art and technology go hand in hand so well. I mean, technology makes things work, art makes things beautiful. Why do you think Apple products are so popular? Because they are pieces of art buried in this incredible technology buried in beautiful art, you know. Why do you think people go to Katy Perry concerts? No, seriously. For those that haven't been, they don't know what they're missing. But for those that have been, I flew from California all the way to Georgia, Atlanta, because it was Taylor Swift's last concert, and there was no way I was going to miss it. Otherwise, I have to go to Australia. And the reason why, because it's, whether you like her music or not, just the art associated with that technology, the presentation, is worth experiencing. Why do you think this lighted jacket is so popular? Gets me in everywhere. Because it's art and technology. And I'm running out of time, but I really, really do want to talk to you about human chemistry. It's something that I think if everybody should be taught. Could I have my slide, please? The one and only slide I have. Next slide, please. And next slide, please. Okay. You see, I have to talk to you about this. I just have to talk to you. Because for those of us that study human chemistry, know for a fact that all of us are drug addicts. We're all drug addicts. Whether we know it or not, we're drug addicts. I grew up in the 60s. I know what drug addiction is, okay? And people that are happy, they're high on drugs. People that are unhappy, they're going through withdrawal symptoms. And if you follow, when I started out to say there are 4 reasons human beings were created. And associated with those 4 reasons of creation, there are 4 drugs that nature has created in your brain, okay? Every time you satisfy one of those reasons that you were created, nature gives you a drug shot, and you feel high. This whole concept of happiness and fulfillment, especially, not just happiness, fulfillment, comes from these 4 drugs that are created by the brain as a bonus when you do what you were created for. And what are those 4 things? Let's talk about the first one that I said. Human beings are created for the basic reason for making somebody else's life better. When you make somebody else's life better, when you do something nice to the person, they get a serotonin rush. What's your name? Kate. Give this to Kate. Hey, Kate has an iPad for you. Kate, are you happy? She's got an incredible serotonin rush right now. So do I, giving it to her. You guys, you're happy. Look at what you just did. You ain't getting shit. But you're happy. You're happy. You know, and people that run, because you guys just got a serotonin rush. People that do game shows, they've got this figured. Person on the screen is winning a car. Highest rated TV show. They're getting shit. But they're tuned in. Get it? It's not rocket science. It's like when you try giving a homeless person a $100 bill someday. Have them jump out of their skin. 6 months later, you will be thinking back about that and getting a serotonin rush. The beauty about serotonin is it's the receiver, the giver, and the observer. They all get that benefit. Think about that. That's your drug number 1. Drug number 2 is dopamine. That comes for the second reason you were created. The second reason you were created is to be productive. And you know what they say, that are real productive people make lists? Why do they make lists? Because they make a list and they tick mark it off. Every time they tick mark something off, they feel, oh my God, wasn't that great? They go through 20 items, they're all done. They create another list of 20 items. These things are addictive. They're just like any other drug. You keep doing them, you're going to get addicted. And you get more productive. That's why successful people they're drug addicts. They're addicted to dopamine. And let me show you why. Because like you walk down the street, you have a chore, your list of things to do for Saturday morning. You're tick marking them up, pick up the shoes, do this, do that. And you walk by the laundry mat, and you were going to pick up your laundry. And it's not on your list. So you go in, you pick up your laundry, you come out, you put it on your list, and you tick mark it. Because with no ticky marky, there ain't no dopamine. And you keep doing those lists, you're going to be so addicted and so productive. It's all drugs. Don't be looking out to somebody else to make you happy. This fulfillment and happiness is from these 4 things. You have to remember nothing. The third thing is oxytocin. Oxytocin is when you are, when it's, you see, serotonin is an empowerment thing. Oxytocin is like things, why do I like to come and talk to you in person? Because I see you. Shake your hands, give you hugs. That feeling that you get from shaking a hand or hugging somebody, that's an oxytocin feeling. It's the shot of huge oxytocin mothers get when they give birth. That's why even if a child is somebody only a mother could love, that's why. Because she's got the oxytocin, you guys don't. That's why when friends are hanging out together, you know, every now and then you go over to your best friend's house or a group of friends, like here, hanging out, drinking beer, doing nothing. Doing nothing. Spend 8-10 hours together. At the end of the day, you go home and say, my God, I had the most incredible time in my life. Why? You ain't done shh. Because of oxytocin. You're drugged with oxytocin. And the last one is endorphins. We know what that is. You know, people that run, you know, they have the runner's high. They run. They're so addicted until all their knees are busted. They still can't stop. Then they put all those rubber things on. Then they have crutch, and you know, then they've got this big fancy brace, but they can't stop running. You know, if you guys create the infrastructure of humanity. You know, if the infrastructure collapsed, like your piping don't work no more, your electricity is gone, an earthquake comes and the whole structure falls down. This is all not happening because something you guys did. Would there be peace? There would be riots in the streets. Because of the infrastructure collapsing due to an earthquake, there will be no food. People will be eating each other. Talk about lack of peace, complete anarchy. So then how come Obama got the Peace Prize and you didn't? The Nobel Peace Prize went to Obama. You guys do all this stuff. This is taken for granted. That if you guys didn't do it, there would be no peace. Something to think about. And it's all because we don't have public relations, going out there and making the public realize what we do, mainstreaming our profession, talking about it so it becomes glamorous.